We'll continue, and hopefully you can hear me now. Okay, what I was about to comment on is in the introduction we also reviewed the use of the SME Needs Analysis, and we also supplied a checklist for the introduction of Business Advisory Services. If you didn't participate in the first webinar on Introduction to Business Advisory Services and you would like to be advised of when we're going to repeat that webinar, can you please send us an email and let us know. We will make sure you're advised. The checklist for business advisory services that could be provided was included in the introductory webinar, and we also reviewed the forms that are included within the tools that are made available by ESS BizTools. This includes forms such as checklists for the introduction of business advisory services, forms for partner evaluation, a form to allow your team members to answer a survey, a succession planning form, form to help you identify the attributes of A and B class clients and also C and D class clients, and a memo to the effect that just don't ignore the C and D class client for wage earner type returns. There may be other services that you can continue to provide to them which would justify them continuing to use an accountant, such as this financial planning services. Perhaps they have higher claims than the general allowance that the tax office is going to allow of $500 this year and $1,000 next year. It's also very important in planning business advisory services to get client comments, and there's a client questionnaire included. And we also have included a checklist of the potential products and services that an accountancy firm offering business advisory services could supply. We're not suggesting that you have to supply all of these products and services, and you can select which ones you're comfortable with in your firm. But we do recommend that if you're going to not supply some of the services, that you make sure that you are able to recommend someone else who can supply those services in case your client requires that particular service. And our recommendation is that if you do recommend someone to someone else, that you follow through, that you manage the process. Our material also includes a list of Chief Financial Officer services and mentoring business advisory services. So the new material which we're going to consider this afternoon includes the Balanced Scorecard Questionnaire. It's very important to find out what your team members and partners think. So the 50 questionnaires that are included within the Balanced Scorecard Questionnaire cover matters such as the accountancy business governance. How do you run your firm? What does your team members think about that? Does your firm have an entrepreneurial marketing promotion strategy? And what's the team enthusiasm like, and how are they going to want to be involved? How's the product going to be delivered, and through what type of team structures? And overall, what's your administration like? And you should be evaluating the scores from these questionnaires, and we'd be suggesting that you revisit it every 6 months or so to see if your overall performance rating is improving. We then suggest that you should be evaluating what business advisory services you should be offering to your clients, and these would be identified by your team members and obviously your partners, and would be the products that you believe that you can deliver. And it's also very important that you closely consider the comments that the clients have made from the surveys that you would have undertaken. What services do they want? A word of warning, if you start going down this process to introduce business advisory services and you talk to clients about it, you're going to create some client expectation. Indeed, a recent client survey that I've been involved in, a number of clients made the comments, well, we now know you're thinking about doing this. We'll be looking forward to the introduction of Business Advisory Services. In other words, you need to be able to deliver, or go back and tell the clients why you're not going to go down that path after you finish the evaluation. As part of this process of getting organised, it's very important to do a SWOT analysis. What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats of your accountancy business? So what's the action plan? What do you need to do to get this mystical thing called Business Advisory Services underway? What are you going to do to create a specialisation? First and foremost, you need to be familiar with the products you're going to deliver. There's no use saying we'll start off with the client interviews and work our way through the SME Needs Analysis, and when we find out what the clients want, we'll think about training our people. The training of your people and the identification of services that you might offer needs to come first. So my suggestion is you use the SME Needs Analysis to do a phantom run on all of your A-class clients and possibly your B-class clients to work out which services you think they may require. And then undertake some training on those products that you believe your clients may require. Pardon me. Obviously, if there's some of the services you don't wish to deliver, start making arrangements with someone else to deliver it. So the SME Needs Analysis is very important in helping you to determine what services you should be making available to your client. And what I've listed on the screen there now is the headings within the SME Needs Analysis. And then you need to consider, what's your sustainable competitive advantage? This is a very important issue. You should be asking your clients what their sustainable competitive advantage is. Therefore, what's yours? Are you going to be able to operate a one-stop business advisory centre? An activity that ultimately we believe should contribute 30 to 40% of your gross revenue. Are you going to have your staff trained in time? Have you identified the specialities that your firm is able to deliver? Have the systems and procedures been put in place? And obviously the education of all the team members and partners. Are you able to identify the value-added benefit for your clients? Have you monitored your competitors in your market to understand what they're doing? Are you looking at the competitors who are not accountants? Businesses like 10X, Action Coaching, and the other coaching and mentoring organisations that are springing up throughout Australia. Incidentally, why do you think there's a growth in the coaching market? We believe it's because other businesses have looked at the trusted advisor status that accountants have got and are trying to seek that for themselves. Some of these other organisations have made a critical examination of the accountancy businesses and decided that accountants, or a significant number of them, don't really want to deliver business advisory services. And they're saying that if accountants don't want to deliver it, then they will establish business franchises which will deliver it. I don't subscribe to that theory. I believe accountants should be able to deliver a worthwhile financial service through a chief financial officer's role for their clients. Sure, there's going to be some aspects of the duties that are listed under Business Advisory Services that some accountancy firms will feel uncomfortable in offering their clients. But sure, you can offer some of the products and so retain the client for more than the tax return. The tax return that we believe is going to be more of a commodity as time goes and that will have, as time goes by, and that will mean the prices are forced down. So what are the special advantages that you bring? What special knowledge have you got of particular industries? And if you haven't got them yet, then our suggestion is that you need to develop them, especially if they're the industries that your clients are involved in. So why do business advisory services? Well, we've talked about the competition. We've talked about the potential for lower depressed earnings from taxation type work in the future because of more competition as firms realise that wage earner tax returns are on the wane. But there's a lot more to it than that. It's more interesting work. It gives you the opportunity to retain your star employees and to attract others who are interested in doing more than tax returns, who want to be, as one young lady from Mackay wrote to me a couple of years ago, she said, "Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a, quote, real accountant," unquote. Get them involved in budgets, key performance indicators, benchmarking comparisons, cash flow forecasts, cash flow management. Make them understand the risks involved in the client's activities. Are they talking to the clients about the various human resources traps that are currently emerging in Australia through the federal government's new programs? It's an opportunity for your firm to exercise leadership, but more importantly for leadership skills to be developed by your team managers and individual accountants working within your business. It enables your firm to establish unique selling propositions. Offering business advisory services is not going to be done by every accountancy business. It gives you an opportunity to uniquely separate yourself from your accounting competition and enable you to meet the competition that the coaching firms are bringing more and more into the marketplace. The coaching firms started off in capital cities. They're now in most of the regional areas and moving into country districts. Helps create a business that can be sold for your clients. And given the predictions as to how many businesses that are going to be offered for sale in the next decade, this is very important. As the baby boomers try to retire, there's going to be more and more pressure on the value of businesses. Only very well prepared, very well run businesses are going to attract the top dollar. One of the most important items as to why you should do business advisory services is that survey after survey, starting with the MYOB 2004 survey, have identified that small, medium business owners in Australia and New Zealand want their accountants to provide a wider range of services. And if they don't get them from their accountants, they're going to be more inclined to go to other people who offer those services. And then the accountancy business will end up only with the tax return. And you will be helping to create more profitable businesses. And, there's no doubt about it, accountancy businesses will earn more income from supplying a range of services. This is not a rip-off, and it's not saying just charge what you think of charging. But what we are hopefully contributing from these tools is to assist accountants to generate more interesting work that the client is prepared to pay for, beyond a set of annual accounts and a tax return. So we believe you're going to assist in financial independence for the client. You're going to help protect the client's assets. A very important aspect of all this is to help in succession planning. Does your client's children really want to take over a business? Or should they be thinking of alternative strategies? There's also a need for better corporate governance in a whole range of small businesses. You can help with this. And it helps in clients enjoy their work, help them to become more successful. And the final comment we make on this segment is, if you don't do it, someone else probably will. And you probably won't know about it until you're doing the next year's tax return and you notice your client has paid out $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to a business consulting firm. Most of that money could have been your firm's, so long as you are able to deliver the services. There's a range of foundation work that has to be done. Obviously, you need to identify the industries that you wish to specialise in. Partners need to appropriately delegate a lot of their current work to other staff. Delegation just doesn't mean you plonk it on someone's desk and say, please do this. You need to make sure that that person has been appropriately trained. Our recommendation is that accountancy business employ client services officers. And in the material there's a full checklist of what would be done by client services officers. These are more mature people who have been round, know what business is all about, and are able to communicate with the clients to make sure all of the data, whether it's for annual accounts, tax returns, or a business plan, or a business health check, has all been received before your accounting or other specialised staff start work on it. Many firms will employ a business services manager to supervise the delivery of these type of services, but indeed it might be one of your current managers or indeed a partner who takes on the role of being the driver of the delivery of business advisory services. But we believe it's important that you appoint champions. These are people who have gone the extra yard, first of all in particular industries. So that you might appoint someone to be your farming champion, your retail store champion, your manufacturing business champion, your trades champion, your medical industry champion, and so on. And those people within your firms would be expected to follow what's going on in those industries, to understand the issues, and to be able to guide other people within the office as to what the current issues are in particular industries. We believe it to be a great idea for those champions to attend industry conferences and meetings, to be seen to be taking an interest. And it won't take long before those champions in your firm are recognised as experts in particular industry segments. You'll be recognised as industry experts by having shown some interest in a particular industry. Team training programs need to be introduced, and this will not happen overnight. We believe that in total around 40 hours training will be necessary for most accountancy businesses who have not done business advisory services before to get their team members, their accounting team in particular, prepared. And then you'll need some introduction seminars to acquaint your client base with what the new products and services you're going to offer are. And in all this, the SME Needs Analysis will have to be used to guide you on what individual partners require. So the next slide that I've just put on there basically summarises some of the things I've said. You can deliver seminars or webinars to your clients if your clients are spaced all over the marketplace. You should be reviewing what you have on your web presence. Is it telling the story on business advisory services? There'll be some software tools that you need to learn, or your team needs to learn, such as Profit Optimizer. But the big thing is to stop procrastinating and proceed with the concept that you're going to launch business advisory services by first of all talking to your clients and your team members and going through the team training strategy. There's a list of some of the duties on client services officers. I've probably already covered those. We believe you can benefit from having special mentoring programs. The mentors could be partners, ex-partners, and other people within the business community, maybe clients, who will assist in the developing of a product and industry champions. But some of the activities that some of your champions might need is, say, public speaking course, some selling sales skills, because there's no doubt most accountants are pretty poor at selling anything, let alone professional services. We've all had it too easy over the years. The tax return type client has just kept on coming back. This Business Advisory Services is a step up. There has to be some selling and marketing. Perhaps some of your younger people should be doing the Australian Institute of Company Directors course, and there'll be specific software courses. And also specific reading. Reading specific books that help younger accountants understand. Participating in seminars on business advisory services, even undertaking the PY or the CPA year, and research into particular industries so that within your team you have industry experts. Product champions are the key for the wow factor. As well as having champions for individual industries, we recommend that you develop a champion for the individual products that you're going to offer. Be they business health check, business planning, seeking government grants, budgets and cash flows, cash flow management, debtors management, selling a business, buying a business, succession planning, operation of family businesses. If you can develop that in the first year you're going to try to deliver about 6 of those products, and you encourage 1 or 2 persons within your team to become champions within that particular product, you'll be well on the way to launching business advisory services. And then the following year you develop the skills for a further 6 products, and in the third year a further 6. That would give you 18 to 20 products, more than enough in our opinion to be offering a fully fledged business advisory services. So the champions need to be aware of the implementation material, some of the things we've already reviewed in these webinars, but obviously the material that comes within ESS Biz Tools contains numerous forms with additional information. But the champion is competent to run a seminar on a particular subject. You're then able to competently proceed with promoting that you're going to have these products. We talked about industry champions a little bit earlier. This is the second part of the wow factor. Keep it going. Gain a reputation for being experts in targeted industries. Sure, there's going to be some extra reading, most of that at night. Going to seminars, doing some web research. But it is all very important work, especially for younger accountants that look well on their CVs. Start writing media articles. The champion within your firm should be writing media articles on their industry and the products that they have for that industry. Very quickly you will gain a reputation with the media as being an expert in that industry. What I'd like to turn to now is some comments that staff, team members of accountancy firms have made when asked to complete questionnaires about business advisory services. Need to offer more services. There's an opportunity for business consulting, perhaps using Profit Optimizer. Not enough training in this firm. Clients keep on asking for business-related services, but all we're doing is a tax return. Clients want services to help them run their businesses. Variety. I think that's one of the big issues, especially the younger accountants. Very hard for smaller accountancy firms to attract the smart young accountants. Give them some variety. Give them some challenges. And from this they will learn to accept the responsibility of supervision. Have them work in small teams to complete a business plan for a client or a business health check. Have them subjected to some leadership training. Make sure you've clearly identified what business advisory services can be allocated to team members. This is a great way, in conjunction with accountancy work relative to preparation of financial accounts and tax returns, for a career development for younger accountants. And they're looking at this. And bear in mind that by offering these services and being fair income about it, you are levelling the playing field out for smaller accountancy firms versus the big four and the top 20. So have you got the right people? Just do not assume that everyone in your team, every accountant, is going to be suitable for business advisory services. Don't be annoyed if some of them put up their hands and say, this is not for me. At least they've been honest. Because they're going to have to develop some new skills. They're probably going to be stressed for a while. So are they motivated? Are they really interested in this, or do they just want to do tax returns? You're still going to have plenty of tax returns to do for your business clients, so leave them there. Do they understand the client's need for business advisory services? Can they adopt the Chief Financial Officer's role? Have they got a can-do attitude? And do they take responsibility? Because what we're asking people to do, your accountants to do, in delivering business advisory services, is in lots of ways to be planning what the business is going to do tomorrow, not what it did 6 months ago. We are not working in old data. We are going to be part of the team creating history within your SME clients. So are they prepared to learn additional skills? And would you be confident in appointing them as a product champion or an industry champion? Going back to the bus comparison, are they seated in the right seat? And I could also add, are they seated next to the right person? In other words, can they work in the team? So there is a list of team training which we expand in the actual material, but some of your staff will require special training. They'll all require training in the products to be offered. They'll all require some training in some of the new tools and software, and in the use of the SME Needs Analysis. And they'll need to participate and be aware of the quality control systems, the appropriate files, and the need to be very conscious of delivery times and the standard and quality of the product to be delivered. As I've said earlier, they must also appreciate the need for some additional reading. The groups I start with suggesting that they read the financial review at least every Tuesday, because there's an enterprise segment in it. And they also read some of the specialist SME articles. We talked about mentors before. Mentors can assist your accountants in developing an annual plan, a personal annual plan, one of our strong recommendations. What do they need to achieve over the next 12 months to make them an even better person for the delivery of business advisory services in 12 months' time? I should be talking to the mentors about their experience in delivering business advisory services, doing a debrief, getting some feedback. So in preparing their personal plan checklist, they will obviously have some current competencies. I should list what they are. What book reading have they done? What industry knowledge do they have? And then what else can they do? We have some webinars to be presented in the next couple of weeks on business advisory services. The last webinar on this trilogy of webinars on business advisory services is on next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, offering business advisory services. Then on Tuesday the 21st, for any of you who have missed it, we're going to try to summarise the whole approach to business advisory services in a 1 hour business advisory services, the new direction for accountants. So if you're interested in this and you need to convince some of your partners or team members, they're the two webinars to participate in. And if you're limited on time, Tuesday the 21st of June is the webinar where we're going to try to summarise everything. And our commercial offer is this, that if you subscribe to ESS BizTools by the 11th of July, we will register you for a free webinar series to guide you in the introduction of business advisory services to your clients. We're going to do this as if we were in your firm, mentoring and guiding, coaching your team. This is based on knowledge that I've developed through undertaking similar exercises with other firms. So the webinars are going to take the course of being 23 30-minute webinars. Our actual presentation will be about 20 minutes. We've allowed 10 minutes for questions. And they're going to commence on the 12th of July. But to participate in those webinars, you have to be a subscriber to ESS BizTools at either the gold or silver membership levels. So what are these webinars going to cover? Well, we're going to spend 20 minutes going back on the introduction to business advisory services. The next one's going to be on the team training. What we're going to do in the webinars is talk about these things, and then available for a subscriber will be a whole range of forms and other material which you can drop down or go onto and start reading and start using to implement. Review of products and services that you could offer. We're going to go through a working environment of how to use the SME Needs Analysis. How do you go about identifying preferred industries and industry champions? The selection of the products to be offered and the product champion. Our leadership consultant, the Managing Director of Leadership Academy, former Colonel in the Australian Army, Peter McDougall, will conduct the leadership strategies for business advisory services. We will also have a marketing strategies for business advisory services, which will be conducted by our own marketing sales manager, Maya Velishkasa, and that will be presented in a few weeks' time. We will then go through the actual products, business health checks, budgets and cash flow forecasts, business evaluation workshop. That's a one-day workshop which we have incorporated, which will enable you to work with your client over one day going through a whole range of activities. There's about 30 activities, some of which may not apply. If the client's not an exporter, well, you don't worry about the export activities. If they're not an importer, you don't worry about the comments on import. But at least 25 of the subject headings will apply to virtually every business in Australia. And it will allow you to work through with the client to identify a whole range of issues that might be of concern to the client. And our recommendation is you charge a fee of about $5,000 plus GST for that day, because there is some preparation time and there will be a report that has to be written at the end. Cash flow management, buying a business, selling a business, succession planning. Making clients aware of business advisory services. We believe you have to create a disturbance. How are you going to suddenly advise your clients who have been clients for many years and you've been preparing tax returns and accountancy reports, doing their Australian Security Investment Commission reports, perhaps doing workers' comp declaration, payroll tax returns, etc. And doing very odd cash flow forecasts and budgets for a bank, and perhaps even rarer business plans. Suddenly, you are going to be offering a whole range of new services. Well, we have to work out strategies of how you're going to create a disturbance in the client's mind. The first group of clients we're going to suggest you start with are the ones who you interviewed, especially the ones who were very proactive and pro-support to the concept of offering business advisory services. We're going to go through in detail what's involved in Chief Financial Officer services. One stage in my career, for 11 years, I was the Chief Financial Officer of a public company. I can assure you that the tax return was not on the high priority list of my responsibilities. Out of 100, it was probably number 50. Haven't your clients got the same problems? Don't they need a Chief Financial Officer's services some part of every week? We believe you can offer that to them. Strategic business mentoring. We shall go through and advise you what's involved in that. This is helping clients to achieve their business plans. Being a de facto director, if you like, maybe a de facto chair of the organisation, whether it's a company or a trust or a partnership, but guiding them through. Being someone the owners can talk to. Then May is going to deliver a further package on selling business advisory services. We do acknowledge there's some selling skills to be developed in this. And then the last of the 20 will be how you plan to launch business advisory services to your clients. And hopefully by the end of this series, which has taken us through to around the end of August, and if you go to our website, you can see a detailed calendar of when those various services are going to be presented. You'll be able to be in a position from September to start offering the services. And the first one we'll be suggesting is Business Health Check. As you complete this, the 2010-11 financial accounts, having marketed the concept of business advisory services to the clients, those ones who agree, you roll straight into doing business health checks for them. Indeed, our suggestion will be you do a mini business health check for all of your business clients in any case, even if you don't charge for that service for this year, to show the clients some of the services you can make available. Some of you on today's webinar, I know, probably not participated in any earlier webinars on ESS VizTools. So what are we? We're a product that's been developed by very experienced accountants, leadership consultants, which we believe is a time-saving web-based tool to help you deliver services to your clients. So besides the business advisory services, we have client mentoring and coaching models, leadership training modules, a library with over 440 papers and PowerPoint slides on a wide range of business issues. We produce a newsletter each month that you can brand and send to your clients. There are 35 client seminars ready to use, from 1-hour seminars through to 15-hour seminars. I hasten to add, we don't suggest you run it in one complete series, a 15-hour seminar. It's been planned to be run in 5 3-hour seminars. System includes various client tools and forms, hundreds of those, and there's video tutorials. So thanks for participating in this webinar today. If you've got any questions, can you please raise your hand, and I'll try to answer them now. If you would like to send us an email later on with any questionnaire, with any questions, please do so. Please don't forget our special offer that if firms have subscribed by the 11th of July, you will be allocated usernames and passwords to participate in our free for subscribers 20 webinars to assist in the orderly introduction of business advisory services to your firm. If you believe you need some additional assistance, we would recommend that you contact FMRC Smith Inc., 2020 Asia Pacific, Nixon Advantage, or indeed our own associated firm, Towers Business Development. Thank you very much for participating today. Our marketing sales manager, Maya Balishkaska, will be in contact with you. Have we got any questions? Just a minute, I'm getting a question.
How do your clients minimize undertake? seminars? How do you orientate your client seminars?
The question is, how do we orientate our client seminars? Hopefully I understand what the questioner is asking. Our seminars are based on a range of products. So in the training for business advisory services that I've done this week, we utilised a 1-hour seminar, Characteristics of a Well-Run Business. That seminar highlights 20 key characteristics that are very important. And the reason we trained with that particular accountancy business on that seminar was that I believe that's a very interesting seminar to be used in the free promotion to A-class clients as to what you're trying to achieve with them. The seminars are set up in a package so that they're ready to go. So within the seminar package you have the paper or papers that relate to that particular seminar, so you can brand them and hand them to the attendees. There is a set of PowerPoint slides for each paper ready to go. There is a full seminar program including registration, or seminar kit not program, including registration forms, suggested media release that you could send to the media or place on your website, invitations to keynote speakers if you want to involve a banker, solicitor, a financial planner, marketing consultant, leadership consultant, etc. in the presentation. Quality control survey forms to be completed by the participants. As far as we know, everything is in the individual seminar packages. All you've got to do is just read the material and you're able to present it. And there's also a detailed checklist about things like booking the room, setting the room up, how you hand out the material. I hope that answers the question. I believe it does. Is there any other questions? If not, as I said earlier, if you do think of something that you would like to have an answer for, please don't hesitate to send us an email and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. Thank you very much for participating in this webinar today. We look forward to joining with you and working with you in your journey into business advisory services if you as a firm decide that's the way you wish to go.